Thanks for joining us. We've got a number of exciting topics lined up for you, such as why you should be checking your Social Security statement, risk variance, what does that really mean and what impact might it have on your retirement portfolio? What is the FICA tax? And 10 senior clubs to join. So all this and much more. Stay tuned to Retiring Well.
Retiring Well, brought to you by Centennial Wealth Advisory, financial advisors specializing in retirement planning and serving all of Northern Michigan. Retiring Well, helping you plan for a successful and comfortable retirement. Retiring Well, plan to retire well.
Let's talk about Social Security, and maybe a little bit different than we usually talk about it. Normally we're talking about how it fits in your income plan and retirement. Today let's take a step back and just talking about looking at your Social Security statement. And this is for everybody out there, whether you're young, many years away from retirement, coming up on retirement, or even in retirement. These are some important maybe tips and stuff to consider. So if you have a work history, likely you have a Social Security statement out there. You know, even if you're 20, 25 years old, you likely have this statement out there. Now, some years ago, the Social Security Administration stopped sending statements out via mail to anybody younger than the age of 60 pretty much. But you can go online and create an account and download that statement and look at it right online at any time. I'd encourage people at least annually to go and check that. Here's some of the things you should be looking at. One, it's going to give you an estimate based on some scenarios of what they expect you to receive when you retire. Also, it's going to give you the information what happens if you become disabled and what you're eligible for. What happens if you pass away, and what is your survivors eligible for? And also, maybe most importantly, especially for those not retired yet, is check your earnings record. If you've looked at your statement there's a long list, depending upon how many years you've worked, of all of your different earnings. Make sure those look accurate and they're being entered correctly. You know, maybe one or two incorrect reportings there could dramatically change your Social Security. Those reportings is what your Social Security is going to be based off of. Social Security can be a huge asset in your retirement. Think of it as a cumulative benefit. If you as you do that, to me, it kind of is an eye-opening experience. Let's just say there's a fictional person out there that's going to get $2,000 a month from Social Security in retirement. And they're going to be retired or collecting that benefit for 30 years. That's a total, $2,000 a month, $24,000 a year, of 30 years. That's a total of $720,000 of Social Security collected. That's a significant benefit when you look at that over time. So that's a big piece of a lot of people's retirement. So it's important to take a little time and just take a few minutes every year, go online, check your record, make sure everything looks accurate, and keep track of that for yourself. You know, it's a great way just to stay on top of that. And then if there is an error, you can go in and work with the Social Security Administration and correct that before you get all the way to retirement. So once again, hopefully that information was helpful. And if you need help with that or any guidance on Social Security, give us a call at the number on the screen. We'd love to sit down with you and walk through that with you and help you plan to retire well.
Yeah, this is a very important topic here, is making sure that you understand and you check your Social Security statement frequently, because that's guaranteed a lifetime income for the rest of your life, right? I mean, you want to make sure you understand what you're going to get and when you're going to get that. You know, oftentimes in the Gaylord office, I'll come across people that schedule that free, no obligation meeting. They'll come in, we'll sit down and chat. And they don't know what their Social Security payment is going to be because they haven't seen a statement in like 10 years because our government has stopped sending those statements out, right? What we're able to do is help walk you through how to figure that out right online. You just go to ssa.gov. And you obviously put in your personal information, but it's so important to make sure that once you're logged in, you get all that, you understand, hey, I'm going to get this much if I retire at 62, if I retire at 65, or full retirement age, whatever age it might be for you, you got to make sure you know your numbers. That's just so important. And we can help get you all squared away with that.
Yeah, you know what Nick just said there that I think is really important is he said, know your numbers. You know, the foundation of our planning is to know our numbers, especially the ones that are contractual lifetime income numbers. You know, recently in the Cadillac office, ran across a potential client who brought in his Social Security statements, and he had them printed for a while, and he pinpointed a year where the reporting was wrong. He says, now what? Does that affect my Social Security? Well, we looked at how much he made that year, and yes, it was going to make a difference. And so through the website and through some of the local chapters of the Social Security Administration, he was able to get that corrected. And it's one of those things that, you know, you just don't want to miss out if there's something that you've worked hard to earn. So if you have questions on your numbers, if you don't know them, if you want to learn more about them, please feel free to give us a call. Hey, stay tuned. Coming up next, we're going to be talking about risk variance and what is FICA tax.
If you're recently retired or considering retirement soon, we have a helpful tool for you right on our website at cen-wealth.com. The Retirement Checklist Challenge. You can download it right from our homepage, and it walks you through 34 different questions as you prepare and think about all the different things for retirement. It helps you set the stage and see if you're ready for that big change in your life to get into retirement.
Living life isn't always easy. It puts up challenges and obstacles you'll have to overcome. There are responsibilities. You put in effort to provide and take care of your family, and to save and invest, to balance work and life. Planning is the first step to succeeding. Plan to retire well.
Risk variance, what exactly are we referencing here? So it's simply measuring the degree of risk in your investment. So risk is going to reflect the chance that investment of their actual return, or is it what gain or loss might it experience over a specified period of time. So is it going to be higher or lower than expected? And there's a possibility that some or maybe all of the investment will be lost. So you have to take into consideration risk variance. So for that, let's walk through a basic case study. So we're going to use siblings Joe and Jane, and each of them inherited $1 million. So here they are, Joe and Jane, each with their $1 million, and now we'll walk through a couple of years and see what that looks like. So at Joe, in his first year, he earned 60% in the first year, and Jane earned 30%. And so both of them, I would say, are doing pretty well after year one. Now, meanwhile, in year two, Joe lost 40% and Jane only lost 10%. So Joe is basically up 60%, down 40%. So ultimately, you total that a plus 20% for Joe. Meanwhile, Jane plus 30%, minus 10%, plus 20%. So there they are, both plus 20% as we would see it after 2 years. So, but let's look at that range here. So Joe is going to be between -40 to positive 60%. So there's a 100% variance or range that we're talking about. Jane was -10 to plus 30, so there's a 40% variance or range in comparison to Joe's 100%. So when you total those up, both of them, again, were plus 20%, but let's look at the actual return. So again, Jane started with her $1 million, earned 30%, so went to $1.3 million, and then lost 10%, so lost $130,000, so she's still at, what, $1,170,000 after 2 years, so not too bad. Meanwhile, Joe started with the million, earned 60%, so went to 1.6 million. I think Joe was probably feeling pretty good about himself, but then lost 40%, which is 640,000, so actually dropped down to 960,000. So the point here, really bad years can ultimately really hurt you in your portfolio. The average return doesn't necessarily mean everything. You could ultimately, just like in Joe's case, still have a negative return. And a lot of times, when you look at an analysis, people are potentially taking on similar risk to Joe when they say, well, I'm more comfortable with Jane's level of risk, but they don't find themselves in that situation. So if you have a portfolio and you're not sure what sort of risk variance you have, feel free to give us a call. We'd love to run a free, no cost, no obligation analysis.
If you are retired or soon to be retired, let us help you plan to retire well. Centennial Wealth Advisory specializes in retirement planning and has offices in Traverse City, Cadillac, Petoskey, and Gaylord. We'll never pressure anyone to become a client. Our goal is to inform and educate. Simply attend one of our live events or schedule a meeting at one of our Northern Michigan office locations for a free, no obligation retirement review.
Your grandchildren are precious to you. They are your life. This is your time to have that special relationship. Taking care of yourself is taking care of them. Centennial Wealth Advisory is offering a free, no-obligation retirement review to make sure you don't run out of money during your retirement. Centennial Wealth Advisory. Your best is yet to come.
At Centennial Wealth Advisory, we take a holistic approach to your retirement planning. So it's not just looking at what your investments are, but what is that long-term income plan for the next 30, 40 years of your retirement? What about taxes and what role they play in your retirement plan? Estate planning, what about life insurance, health insurance planning, all key areas to consider when looking at your retirement. So please visit our website or call the number on the screen. We'd love the opportunity to sit down with you for a no-cost, no-obligation visit.
Let's talk about FICA Taxes. I know you're excited. You can see it. Oftentimes people say, yeah, that's one of those line items that I see a deduction on my payroll or my paycheck on a weekly or biweekly basis, whenever you may get it. But what exactly is it and what does it do? So FICA, F-I-C-A, stands for Federal Insurance Contribution Act, and it was passed in 1935. So this is primarily what is put into place to provide a retirement savings and insurance program for working Americans. Really, it's the primary funding source of Social Security. So you have, out of your pay, basically 6.25% in 2022 coming out for Social Security, and then 1.45% of your wages for Medicare. So when you look at those two combined, about 7.65% is coming out. Now, if you're an employee, your employer is paying that much on their side as well. So, kind of double that, and that's what's going towards basically your record, right? So there's different limits on this as well. So the first $147,000 of earnings annually is taxed that amount. After that amount, if you are fortunate to make more than that, the Social Security part falls off. So it isn't that 147 isn't taxed anymore. So if you are a wage earner where you have that, maybe later in the year as you earn more than that, you'll actually see your net pay bump up slightly because that part isn't being taken out anymore. The Medicare piece stays there, and actually, if you're single and you make over $200,000 and married over $250,000, 0.9% gets tacked on the 1.45 after that, and you actually pay a little bit more of that Medicare if you're a high wage earner and you get into that. Now, some folks don't I shouldn't say that. It may be exempt from having to pay these. Some religious affiliate employees and also some state and federal workers that have pension entitlements may not be subject to have these payments. So there are some employees out there that may not be being deducted. However, for most folks, if you're working in the private sector, then you're going to have that. If you're self-employed, you're paying your employee portion and your business portion, so you're paying both of that. So once again, kind of an interesting piece of what is that line item when you look at your paycheck and what is it going to do. So hopefully that was helpful. And once again, kind of really at the end of the day, we're looking at Social Security, and as that it's a big piece for retirement, and hopefully you're using that to the best of your ability, and that's built into your retirement income plan. If you have questions about any of this or need help with your retirement income plan, we'd love to talk to you for a free, no obligation visit here at Centennial Wealth Advisory.
What a very powerful topic there in risk variance. It's very important to understand how much risk you have in your portfolio. Oftentimes we come across people that they really have no idea how much risk they're really taking with the various investments that they have in their portfolio. And it can go either way, right? If it's a good year and you've taken on a lot of risk, you can make a lot of money. But what happens in those bad years, right? We don't always want to be swinging for the fences, especially in retirement. I mean, you know, me personally, growing up in high school, I'm not a huge guy. I was the leadoff hitter, typically. I'm not swinging for the fences. I'm just trying to get on base. Sometimes I'd even bunt the ball, right? I just want to get on base and eventually move my way around, right? But we don't want to risk losing 50% of your portfolio if another 2008 comes along, right? So we want to make sure that we understand, hey, we're willing to give up some of the high rate of return so that we can minimize or reduce our risk if another black swan event comes along.
Yeah, you know, I think what Nick is saying there also is just knowing your risk number, knowing where the risk of your portfolio is. If you can pinpoint that, if you know why you're doing it, there can be peace in that. You know, using his baseball analogy, yeah, I know if you ever watch baseball, there are situations where the batter needs to swing for the fences. You know, we need to sacrifice out. But then there might be times where, no, we just got to get one base to win the game. And so knowing your situation and what your reaction is so important in an investment plan. Because, you know, we have positions that, yeah, they're swinging for the fences. And we have positions that, nope, this is going to be our walk, right? Or our safe bunt. And so knowing how to position those for your situation is always the adventure. So if you're sitting there and you're like, wow, I feel like I'm trying to swing for the fence with my entire portfolio and I'm a couple years from retirement, maybe we should take a second look at that, because there's a lot of options that you have. And we love that we get to teach each and every week. So thank you for watching, and stay tuned next. Coming up, the top 10 senior clubs to join.
Through the school programs in our local school district, kids receive physical therapy to work on their mobility skills, occupational therapy to work on their fine motor and handwriting skills, as well as speech therapy to work on their communication skills. And during the summer months, there's limited school therapy available, and the children are selected based on their severity of need. So there are a lot of children with maybe some more mild diagnoses that don't qualify for school therapy in the summer. Due to the limited therapist availability and insurance restrictions, and also the high out-of-pocket costs, Kids on the Go provides programming for the children that don't qualify for school therapy and also might not be able to afford or gain availability to outpatient therapy. So it helps provide services similar to what they'd receive in school, only it's in a group summer camp setting. Kids on the Go is the first of its kind in the entire Northern Michigan region, and we're excited to expand our healthcare resources. Kids on the Go is 100% donation-based, and 100% of the funding received for our Traverse City program goes towards supporting local children. And our program is run by local physical therapists, speech therapists, and occupational therapists in our region, and it's based in a local school right here in Traverse City. Kids on the Go is rewarding in that it helps us watch children progress and develop their skills over the summer. And to me personally, it's so inspiring to see them making progress with their mobility skills, their communication and speech skills, and being able to perform some functional things that they might not have been able to do in the past. We're just beginning our journey with Kids on the Go, but I have big dreams for this program. We're starting out small, and right now we have limited days that we're providing these services, but in the future I would love to include a greater age range of children in our programs and different types of programming. Maybe reaching out to different sports-specific programs like basketball, bike riding, swimming, different social skill groups for kids, hiking groups, sailing groups, and things that are really specific to our Northern Michigan community here that children can take part in and work together as a team. Well, we're very excited for any support from our local community, and we're thrilled to already have received a lot of generous support from different businesses and individuals in our community that have embraced our program. And we're excited for others to help join us and help build this amazing opportunity for children and families and help these kids achieve their goals and continue to make progress with their physical skills. Kids on the Go has a website, and that's www.kidsonthegocamptc.com, and all camp information and donations can be made through our website. Our camp registration opens January of each year online, and you can simply go to our website and log in there to register, or feel free to email myself or one of the other therapists if you have any specific questions about our programming. As a small and new nonprofit, we were able to pivot and move our services to an online platform where we were able to provide fun and safe therapy to a group of local children. I feel that it was really well received. I had a lot of positive comments from families that really enjoyed working together as a group from a virtual platform. And it also gave our therapists the tools to be able to work together and plan programming that we'll be able to build off of in future years.
In spring of 2022, U.S. News came out with this list of 10 senior clubs to join, and so we believe it's definitely important to make connections with people, especially if you share similar interests. So let me walk you through their list. The first is AARP. So they're going to give you different discounts on travel, restaurants, and ultimately is the largest nonprofit dedicated to seniors. Second is the American Birding Association. So there's lots of different experiences here in Northern Michigan and as well as across the country. I know here in spring, my wife and I were at the Grass River Natural Area there in Bel Air and saw a group of bird watchers all with their binoculars and checking stuff out. And so that was neat to see. Number three, Americorps Senior. So they're going to provide a service, different service opportunities where you can put your skills and abilities to work. So that's more of a national organization. I know there's a number of different local organizations that do this as well. The National Audubon Society, you may enjoy, again, protecting the birds and the different environments that they live in. Number 5, Good Sam. So if you have an RV or a camper, they're going to help maybe give you different discounts on campgrounds and gas stations and help you maybe map out some of those trips that you have planned in retirement. 6 is the National Council on Aging. So their goal is to help you live a healthy life and have financial security. I know they also a lot of times will offer different tax preparation services there in the months of February, March, and April. Number 7 is going to be the National Senior Games. Now, this is one I'm a little jealous. I'm only 40. I guess I have to wait a little bit longer. It's for ages 50 and over, but you get to compete in maybe tennis, golf, pickleball, shuffleboard, cornhole. So I know for myself, I'm a big competitor and love sports, so this is one that I'm sure as I get a little bit older, I'll be able to join that and have some fun. Number 8 was Red Hat Society. So this is what originally started, I guess, for women over 50. Now it's open to women of all ages, and there's a lot of different local chapter events that they host. Number 9, Senior Net. So this is out there to assist you with technology, and as I know that continues to be a growing area, and you didn't naturally grow up with all of the computers and internet and phones and all of that our world is turned into, so maybe one to consider. And lastly, another one I might be interested later on, Silver Sneakers. This is different fitness classes at home, or they do them online, or maybe through a local gym. So we just encourage you to get out and be social with those that you may share common interests as we hope to see you plan to retire well.
Hey, I love it when we can give you a list, give you ideas, give you things to look into that allow you to, plan to retire well. I'm going to bring you back to a memory that I had probably early teenage years. I was doing cement work in the summer with my dad, and we walked up to the counter at McDonald's to get his first his cup of coffee, like normal, right? Watching the cement, or waiting for the cement to dry, and they rang him up, and he says, "Wait! I'm a senior, okay? I get that discount." And I remember sitting there looking at him like, why is he so excited for a senior discount on a cup of coffee for 25 cents? But he was, and from that point forward, he was always looking for different discounts, and just loved, continuing the things that he enjoyed doing, just saving a little bit of money or getting different ideas on how to save money and ultimately, though, how to retire well, how to have that same kind of physical and emotional purpose that he had during his working years.
Yeah, those discounts out there are everywhere for seniors. You just got to know where to look, right? Oftentimes we'll get clients into the office that are signing up for Medicare plans, whether it's supplement plans or Advantage plans. People might not realize that Silver Sneakers, one of those clubs that John was talking about, is actually built into some of those different Medicare plans. And it's a great program to get gym memberships and continue an active lifestyle in retirement and have that structure. So you're getting up, going to the gym every week, and it's a discounted price or even no cost to the retiree. So it's just important to understand and look for those discounts, because they are out there, and we'd be happy to help with those as well. So hopefully you found this information valuable. We love doing this every week. Thank you so much for watching with us. If any questions have come up, please don't hesitate to reach out. Give us a call at the number on the screen. We'd be happy to sit down and chat with you and answer all those questions that you might have. Come back next week. We got a lot of great information for you. You don't want to miss it.